shots that are coming in from the Wagah-Atari border, where we can see the BSF accompanied by huge crowds leading the patriotic chants like Bharat Mata Ki Jai and Vande Mataram. Viewers, also we're going to go and continue with our segment on Proud to be Indian. We're also joined by a wonderful person. We continue with decorated people whom we are interviewing here. A brilliant surgeon in Chennai's premium cancer wards, scalpel steady, pulled back life after life from the edge. That was Dr. Ravi Kannan, our guest, who was respected, secure at the peak of his professional life. In 2007, something stirred deep and then he turned away from comfort. Dr. Kannan, thank you for joining us. A very good afternoon to you. You moved his family to a quiet, rain-soaked town of Silchar in Assam, where cancer struck the poor like a hopeless storm, with no hospitals, no escape. Before I come across to you, let's once take a look at his journey.
He didn't just arrive, he stayed back. He took a struggling non-profit, the Cachar Cancer Hospital, and turned into a fortress of care. From a modest 25-unit bed, Dr. Kanan grew Cachar Cancer Hospital into a 200-bed oasis of hope, providing free treatment to over 70,000 patients, accommodating their caregivers with shelter, food, and even jobs. In the war against cancer, under the guidance of Dr. Ravi Kannan, Cachar Cancer Hospital has transformed into a beacon where dignity is the currency, rendering the geography useless. For this quiet revolution, India honoured him with the Padma Shri in 2020. Asia gave him the Ramon Magsaysay Award in 2023, but Dr. Kannan remains unchanged, still walking the wards at dawn, still listening to the fears of the ones desperately seeking a chance to fight for their lives with destiny. On Republic Day, India's quiet healer, Dr. Ravi Kannan echoes the idol of our nation. True patriotism needs not to be loud. It has to show up, stay back, and work in the system to change the system, reminding us what real strength looks like.
Dr. Kanan, thank you for joining us. I think my first question then from Rakshita and me to you on this celebrated day to our Padma Shri legacy is going to be, you've tried to make Northeast the cancer citadel, I would say. There's no corner of Northeast too far. You've transformed it into a beacon where geography is irrelevant. What motivated you, and how are you looking currently at how the Northeast is standing when it comes to the work you're doing there?
The true strength of the nation, lies in what is happening in different corners of the country. So, people say that I've done a great job, but the job was actually started by lay citizens of the valley who joined together and formed a cancer society in as early as 1992, when there was no cancer center in the region except for Guwahati. And then they, farmers, tradesmen, teachers, lawyers, engineers, a few doctors joined together. They sought support from local people and formed a cancer hospital. And then Dr. Chinmoy Chaudhary, who was the director of the cancer hospital then, visited a number of cancer centers to see how a cancer hospital has to be organized. And he spent time with us in Chennai, where I used to be at the Cancer Institute. And then when he invited us, we moved. But their story is one of, vision and courage and grit. And that similar stories happen across the country. And that is what I think holds the nation on the path to progress.
Dr. Kanan, with so much of your contribution, you've been a change maker. And now from here onwards, how much of work is left to be done so that, we should not be thinking that, there's still people who would, go out for treatments. India should have a healthcare for cancer, that, it should become a country which people look up to when it comes to, treatment for such a disease.
So there is always more work to be done, more work to improve access, more work to take treatment closer to the homes, more work to reduce the expenditure on care. And all of this will happen with teamwork and perseverance. And today in the country, a lot is happening. We have, what is called the National Cancer Grid, where we have nearly 350 centers now working together across the country to try and bring about uniform standards of care across the country, to try and make individual centers cope up for want of human resources, to lay down standards of care, to do multi-center research, to help frame public policy, work with the government to frame policy for cancer and healthcare. And I think it is working together that will actually change the situation in the long run. But what we must always keep in mind is ultimately the only interest that should matter is the sick man's interest. No other interest should prevail as far as healthcare goes.
Today on Republic, we are so proud of what you've done, and we hope that you continue to inspire millions with your work.
Thank you, sir. In fact, Rakshita, let's also once again go back to those visuals, those celebrations.